What's up, folks? We're with Montana Mountain UTV. We've got a brand new 23 RZR 900 right here, 2023, that's right. And we're going to put a DYNOJET clutch kit on it. This is the DYNOJET clutch kit 19 DCK4. So we've got 30-inch tires on this bad boy. Clutch engagement, when it starts to move in low range, is right around 2,400 RPM. We're going to see if we can drop that down and give them a little more mid-range. Okay guys, I've got the clutch cover off. I won't bore you with that. 8mm socket to get that off. I use a 3/8 drive. Little ratchet, works good. Now we're going to remove the secondary clutch first. I'm going to use a 15mm socket. Pull this bolt. I can slide the clutch off. I can actually remove the bolt that way too. So here's the secondary sheath. That's off. I'm going to use a 22mm on a 1/2-inch drive gun to get the primary off. This one might even be a 21. I'm going to double check that. Get this belt out of the way. Always looking for any issues. It's definitely, he said it was squealing. I can see some scuffing on the inner teeth. Some material kind of leading off of there. Yeah, try and put a new belt on with the new clutch kit. Now I'm gonna get the puller out for this. Okay, so here's what the puller looks like. I use the SLP puller. Works good. A little bit of lube on the threads as they're going in. 19mm, again on the 1/2-inch drive gun. This bolt is, turns out it's a 21. 22, I think it's for the bigger machines. Easy as that when you have a nice 1/2-inch drive gun. Again, this is a brand new machine with about 200 miles on it. We just did the break-in oil change. Lots of dust in there. So we're gonna clean this puppy out. We'll take it over to the bench and I'll show you how to put this clutch kit in. Okay, so I've got the clutch jigged up in the vise here, and this is actually a Gilliman Products clutch tool, which is basically just a piece of all thread with some nuts on each end. So I can relieve the 6 bolts on the top here, and a lot of people use a 10mm on those. It's actually a 3/8 Polaris American. And it's actually not that much spring tension on these ones. I've stood on these with my foot and taken the bolts off. It's just a matter of being careful when you put them back together. And then they do have an X here lined up and an X down in here. There'll be an X on this one too. To make things a little bit easier going back together, I'm just going to draw a line on all of them. Just keep things lined up. And this will just get cleaned and go back on. This will go away. There's a blue washer in there. You want to refer to the instructions for that. And then remove these weight arms next. Okay, I'm going to remove these clutch arm weights. 3/8 socket, 1/8-inch Allen. Okay, let's weigh this sucker. It says 59 on it. Let's see what it comes up with. $59.5. Not bad. Now, how we interpret these instructions here, intended use, we have a trail use and a 30-inch tire. We're going to be a little higher elevation than this, but we'll roll with these magnet positions and then come down here to, well, we're sitting right about 5,000 feet elevation. Anywhere you go riding is going to be a little bit higher typically. So from each arm, starting from toe side, here's the toe, we would subtract 2 magnets from each arm. So 1, 2 off the tip. And these ones don't even have any off the tip. So really you'd take one here and one there. So you're not putting a lot of weight on there. It's going to end up being a little less than 61 grams, I imagine. So let's see where we're at after I do the magnets. And these are just stacked in, very simple, very self-explanatory. They go in the slots there, people. Skinny ones for the end. Trail 30-inch tire, we go 1. There's 1. And then it wants 3 in here, and then 0, 0. No, 3, 1, 0, 0. Boom, 1, 3, 1. Dang, it should be 61. Yeah, 60 and a half. They're close. All right, we'll use that as a starting base. I don't want to make it too light. This thing will rev to the moon. I'm going to spray a little copper grade anti-seize on a rag. I'm going to coat the shaft of these weight arm pins in that before I put them back in. And how about a little bit of red Loctite for the bolt side here. Alright, now I've got all the weight arms installed. I'm just going to use a little bit of blue Loctite and torque these 3/8 bolts back down. I'll use the all thread clutch tool to compress it down, line up my marks, and we'll go on to the secondary. Alright, now for the secondary, we're going to just put a little tension on that plate, back off the 4 torque bolts. T15, I believe. Yeah, T15. Okay, now we've got the bolts removed. We're going to change out the center helix and the spring. And in the instructions, it does say to put this washer down in the bottom of this piece. So we're going to put this little washer down in there before we put it back together. And then this goes away. Purple spring goes in. There is a little notch that goes down, goes into the notch. This will go back on with the spacer. This one had an X on it. I'm gonna put this one on. And people ask oftentimes which spot the rollers go in. The rollers need to go in the deep spot, not this spacing here. And that spacing needs to go opposite of the notches inside. There's kind of some little notches down inside there. You want that notch to offset those. And then we'll compress this back down. And again, if you don't have the all thread, I put this on the ground and stood on it with my foot. Just be careful when you're starting the bolt. Okay. Now it's going to have a slight amount of spring tension to clock this and start the bolts, and we'll want a little bit of Loctite on those bolts. And I do like to use some red, and I've spilled it here a little bit, so we'll collect a little bit off of here, Avery, and put that on our bolts. It'll help you line these up. Make sure you get them started by hand. Don't try and force them in with a tool. Okay, now we're going to go back to the machine.